What's going on, YouTube? We back. I'm back out here on the Gixxer. No DRZ for me today. They still haven't released them. It's like mid-April. You know, everybody's still waiting patiently to get their deliveries. But I wanted to address, you know, some comments and everything from the video the other day of me test riding the DRZ4s. You know, I mean, I appreciate all the comments, all the likes, everybody that came over and subscribed to the channel. Hopefully I can provide some good content for you guys, but I just wanted to, you know, address some of the comments. You know, first comment was me with the blinker. Yes, I am horrible with turning off my blinker, and I gotta work on that. So thank you for bringing that to my attention and making me more aware of turning off my blinker. Next was, you know, the comfortability of the bike. You know, I'm no expert in dual sports. I've never really ridden a true dual sport bike. I got all my skills off of riding a CR60 back in the day. That was the first bike I learned how to ride on. And after I got old enough, I never touched another dirt bike because I got my license, and I was given an option: sell the dirt bike and get a car, or keep the dirt bike and have no car. So at 17 years old, that was a no-brainer for me. I sold the dirt bike and started driving the car. Took me a while to get my motorcycle license, but I did get my motorcycle license, and I ended up getting a FZ4s, and that was my first street bike. I had a lot of fun on it, but I ended up selling that when I had my daughter. So I ended up buying the Gixxer because it was just such a good deal. You know, a 05 Gixxer 1000, super clean, for $5,000. I was like, yeah, that was a good deal. So I really wanted to get a CBR 1000 RR, but I was hesitating on pulling the trigger on that bike. So this is what I ended up with. But I started looking at the DRZ because, as you can see, I just hit stop sign after stop sign after stop sign riding around in town. I'm not really getting above, you know, second or third gear, because if I do, I mean, you know, I'm just going to hit another stop sign, especially when I'm driving around in town doing errands. And that's just what I'm doing today. I just took the bike out to do some errands. So, you know, that's why I was looking at the DRZ. I was really looking at the Honda Gram. I was going to get the Honda Gram this year, but, you know, I'm 6 foot tall, 250 pounds. You know, I'm a little too big for the Honda Gram. You know, you got to get something that's more your size and you can still enjoy it. I want something that has the flickability, but still can go, still has some pep. A 125 with my big behind on it just ain't gonna work for me. So that's why I started looking at the DRZs, and it was always a toss-up between, you know, DRZ and the Honda Gram. I just did not like the carbureting part of the DRZ, but since they upgraded to fuel injection, it really, like, you know, sparked my interest and made me a little bit more interested. That's why I wanted to go out there and take the test ride, just to see how it felt. Now, I have no, you know, interest in getting the S version. You know, I'm not going to be off-roads. I'm not going to be back in the woods and the trails and stuff like that. I need something for the street. So I really wanted to test drive the SM, but by the time the SM come out, I'll probably have mine. But it's the same feel, you know. I just wanted to see how the throttle felt, how, you know, how the bike felt in general, and I did like it. Except for, you know, the fact that it's tall. I'm not used to that, and there's a couple things I need to get used to. But yeah, let me run in here and get some oil, and then we can resume these talks. We're back, people. So, like I was saying, you know, I have no interest in the 4S. You know, it's a good bike. It feels good. I'm pretty sure a lot of people will enjoy it, but it's not for me. I need the SM. I need them street tires. And like I said, the seat height on the 4S is really tall. You know, I measured my seat height. My seat height on my Gixxer is 25 inches, right? Now, if you do the conversion with the millimeters, it turns out that the 4S is like 43 inches tall, or 35 inches tall, and the SM is only an inch shorter. So I'm going to see how that feels. I mean, an inch difference from where I was sitting at on the 4S might make a difference, might make it a little bit more manageable when coming to stops, you know. But like I said, I'm on my Gixxer. This thing is lowered. I bought it lowered, and I haven't changed anything to it, and I've kind of gotten accustomed to you know, the short stance, you know. So yeah, we're going to see how it is, you know. As far as vibrations, you know, somebody asked me about how it felt with the vibrations. I didn't feel it rattling anything crazy. It felt really smooth on the throttle. I know they changed the throttle. There's no cable. It's throttle by wire, some jazz like that. And that's pretty much why the price point went up. And that was another big complaint about the price point. You know, they probably did like $1,000 in upgrades to the bike. So I feel like the price is kind of justified. I like the style of the bike better than other bikes, because people were like, well, you can get the KTM 390, and I'm like, I just don't like the style of it, you know. Sometimes it comes down to style when you're riding. It's how the bike rides and how the style is. And you know, unfortunately, sometimes we trade off a little bit of performance for, you know, style. And I really like the style of the DRZ4SM. I think it looks sleek. I think they could have done better with the graphics kit. I think the graphics kit is very basic, but I think they put all their thought into, you know, how are we going to make this fuel injection work? How are we going to do that? And they skimped on the graphics. I mean, the last 2 years, I like the graphic kits on the old ones. That's what really drew me to them. That black and blue is really like what I like. And they just, I feel like they dropped the ball on that a little bit. I was torn between the white with the blue rims and the sky gray, aka, you know, powder blue. But I think I like the powder blue. And I'm just gonna get a graphics kit and put it on there and make it mine. You know, sometimes you buy a bike and it's not exactly what you want, but then you can customize it a little bit, and then it'll be what you want. And that's what I'm into. You know, I'm not into just buying it just to, you know, have it as it is. I'm gonna make it my own. You know, change the muffler. There was a good video with the Yoshimura full exhaust. I really like that sound. It just gave it that little bit of a deeper growl to it. You know, I don't want to be obnoxiously loud, you know. I got a Yoshimura on this. I like the sound of it. I think on the DRZ, the Yoshimura is going to sound really good. So let's see how that works out. Yeah, once again, thanks to everybody for watching, tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, you know, do that YouTube thing. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.